Hello, my name is Justin Hickman. I'm with Vertispan. Today is Friday, July 7th, 2023, and I am continuing on with building a widget using Domino UI, Domino Kit. In between yesterday and today, I was playing around a little bit more with the drag and drop functionality, and I did create a draggable class. I decided to make this one package private because it's not going to be fully working. It's probably not going to be bug free if you use it outside of the color picker, at least not for now. Eventually we can probably change it a little bit better to suit the other purposes for more of a general use. Did create a couple of beans in here, one for RGB, and right now it's very simple. So it's just holding on to the red, green, and the blue values. Whenever you set the blue, it constrains that value between 0 and 255. So if it's anything outside of that, it will at least constrain it to that value. Same with the other green and the other red. A simple equals and hash code. Very simple. HSV, I really haven't done too much on this one. It's just eventually going to be hue, saturation, and value. I did create a color utility, and with this, I'm going to be able to do all of my necessary conversions. Haven't done any of that yet because I'm not really ready to deal with any of the other color handling at this time, because right now we're only looking at the other view picker. I'm going to be continuing with that today. From the other last stream, we talked about being able to do the other drag and drop. I don't think I'm going to do a lot of the CSS changes on stream. I don't know. Basically, we want this to be able to accept a value, and we were playing around with changing the input element value and firing the event so that it would update. So it's bidirectional right now. I did, like I said, I did get some drag and drop functionality working, so I can hit escape and it'll stop. Although I need to look at the logic for that, because that is not correct. For the cancel. That's kind of weird. Well, it looks like it's no, it's not. I'm not entirely sure what it's doing. I'm gonna have to look at the escape logic, but it is able to grab this, drag it around, and whenever you let go of the other mouse button, it'll drop. And it does set the other value. So if I were to, oops, I need to inspect that first. So that is the dragger. I want the input element. So then I can do like a value. That is 209. I think it does it. Maybe 360. That is not correct. Yeah, I'm not entirely sure what's going on with that. I don't know. We're going to have to figure that one out. But obviously, this doesn't look great because we don't want it to be able to float up and down. We also don't want it to be able to drag outside of the containing box. So there are things that we need to be able to fix today. So basically, I want to constrain this dragging so that it only changes the X value or the horizontal value, not the vertical, because right now it's also updating the vertical. So let's probably implement that first. Let's take a look at where I instantiate the new dragger or draggable. So we have a draggable, which is the thumb, and we add an end, cancel, and move handler. And all this is doing right now is calling on drag, and it's setting the value based upon the value from the other thumb, which is basically just grabbing the thumb bounds and the track width, doing the scale, and trying to do that. So I actually do need to figure out this. I don't think it's going to be the bounds here, because this is grabbing the client X, not the X position within the bounds of the other parent. So we do need to do a little bit of math there. So let's actually add we want to constrain. I'm not sure if we should call it constrain vertical, constrain horizontal, because if you're constraining vertical, that means that you're not allowing that to change. So maybe so. So let's go ahead and set constrain vertical. So in our draggable, let's go ahead and hide that to give ourselves more screen real estate. And I did forget on the stream yesterday, I forgot to actually increase the size of this stuff. So this will make it a little bit easier for the stream to be able to see what I'm doing instead of the tiny font. All right, so let's go ahead and create a public method. I know that the default is false, but sometimes I like to put a explicit value. All right, I didn't actually go over what I did for the draggable, so let's go over that real quick. So basically, I create a draggable, giving it the element that I want to be able to drag, and adding the event listeners. And that's basically it. So basically in the constructor here, we grab the drag element, we listen for mouse down, and then whenever a mouse down occurs, we will delegate to the on mouse down. And the nice thing about this is we're not listening to multiple event types from the start. We're only listening for mouse down, so that whenever we do the mouse down, we just check to see if we're enabled, so we would be able to disable the dragging, and we also make sure that the button is the left button, or the primary button. We grab the starting rectangle, which is basically the bounding client rect of the drag element. In this particular case, it's going to be the thumb. We grab the client X and Y from the mouse event, and then we want to add a global listener. And the way I do this, I basically go through an array of event types that I'm wanting to add. And for this, I'm just doing key down, mouse move, and mouse up. So for each one of those, I'm adding an event listener, and I have this global handler, which is basically just this method that checks to see what the other type is and then delegates appropriately. So it's adding a single handler for all three of those event types. That way, because it doesn't really matter if I have them separated out or not, because we can just execute this. So basically, where is that? So for adding the global listener, I'm just iterating over those event types. And for each one of those, I'm adding the single handler. I have the same thing for the release. So the remove global listener, I'm just going through all of those and removing that global handler. I guess that's really just a global listener for each one of those types. So pretty simple. So then while you're dragging, it's listening on the document, which means that we aren't constrained by listening only within the bounds of the drag element. So this is going to be for the entire document, which is very nice because it's basically previewing all of the events for the other browser, and we would be able to drag outside of bounds and not actually get disconnected events. And that also takes care of the problem where we were talking about yesterday, where if you were to drag too fast, and if you're watching mouse moves only on this object, once you leave, it's not going to receive those events anymore. So you do have to listen at a higher level in order to get the decent drag and drop look and feel. So key down, basically, I'm just consoling it out. I was wanting to see what it would do. So if we are dragging and the escape key is pressed, we want to cancel the drag, which again, we do need to fix that issue with the value not being correct. I don't know why it's jumping like that. We're gonna have to figure that one out. Mouse up, it does the stop drag, and mouse move, we just move. And right now, all it's doing is if we're dragging, we calculate the top and left based upon the drag distance. We set the last one so that we always retain from event to event what the last X and Y were. And then we have to translate, and that's because all of these coordinates are client-based. So the top from the top of the window, not from the absolute position within the parent container. So we do have to do a translation. It's basically grabbing the computed style, the bounding rectangle of that element, and then we parse the left, grab the double value from that, and we grab the parse top. And then we are able to take the X and Y that we're translating, and we're able to compute a brand new DOM rectangle by taking X minus the bounding rec X plus the left offset, and the same with the other Y, with the other top offset. So that does do a decent translation. And once it's translated, I just grab the drag element and set the left to the translated locations, and the same with the other top. And that's why it's able to drag and follow the other mouse cursor, is because it's able to grab those positions in the translated view. Because if you remember, if I were to, you can actually see it here. So the top is 5 pixels, not whatever this is going to be. It's going to be from the top like 240 pixels if we were just going off the bound rec. And I did have issues with that before, but I was able to resolve that by translating those cursor or those coordinate space. So let's go ahead and constrain, shall we? So if we are constraining, it's basically inside of this area right here. So before we set the left and the top to the last X and Y, we basically need to constrain. think of how to do this. So if we are constraining vertical, we don't want to change the top. But we kind of need to do that up here, right? Before we actually change it, we need to, if we are doing a constrain vertical, we just want to grab the Y of the starting rectangle. Otherwise, it's that stuff, right? Yeah, let's see if that works. I think I did set that to true, right? Yeah. So we can see how we can do that with the constrain horizontal as well. But yeah, here we go. So that was able to constrain it by not changing the top. So that works. So now I would like to be able to constrain it within the container, because obviously I don't want it to go outside of this container. Right now it's allowing me to go anywhere within the client bounds. So what I want to do is probably set this draggable set container. And let's say that the container is going to be a constraint box, right? This is a terrible song. Oh good, it's over. I'm trying a different stream beats stream today, because the other one I was just getting tired of hearing it too often. Set container, and this is going to be some sort of domino element, right? What did we set as the draggable? So domino element, anything that extends HTML element. I bind this to create field. There we go. I'm not used to the screen real estate, or the lack thereof, with zooming in like this. So everything looks a little bit weird to me. All right, so we are able to set the other container. Let me reorganize those methods. And that should be fine. So now whenever we move, so this is constraining the vertical. So now if the container is not equal to null, so yeah, we need to change the left and the top based upon the bounds of this container. So we're going to have to do like the math min and math max to figure that out. So the container, get the bounding rect. So we want the min to be the container rect left. Okay, I'm gonna change this music. Let's try this one. See if that's any better. I don't know if you can even hear that. I'm hearing it pretty loud in my headphones. Is that right? No, that can't be right because that'll allow it to go outside. We want the minimum to be that or math max left or container rect. See, that's going to be an issue. Because this is going to be the left side of the draggable. We want the right side. So let's change this up a little bit. Let's say the max of the left side versus the container right side or left side. So what's the difference between the left and X? Aren't those going to be the same value? I'm gonna have to look that up. Turns the left coordinate has the same value of X. Okay. Can the width be negative? What does a negative width on an element do? All right, so let's think about this. So we have this container. We have its left side. We have this guy, and we have its left side. We want to make sure that the container is the minimum. Yeah, we want to make sure that the container here is the minimum. Because if we go past here, we want the draggable element to stay with that. So the min, no, X. I know that I said min, but we need to take the maximum of those two values. So the maximum of this left versus the container's left. Let's try that one first. Let's see what that looks like. For some reason, it's a Friday. I'm not thinking straight today. There we go. So it's able to slam up on that container and not go any further. So for the other right side, we're going to need the minimum value of the container's right versus the right of this object. But it's actually going to be the left plus start rect width versus container rect right. Yeah, we can't do that because now we're getting the value of this. So then that would allow this to go a little bit past. So we actually need to take the container right minus the element width. Right? Correct? Can't say right. I need to say correct. Indeed. Alright, so we can drag that way, and we can drag this way, and it slams. Nice. Nice. So this was able to constrain to the other container. Okay, that works for me. I mean, technically we need to do the same with the top, the vertical. So let's remove that set constrain vertical, and let's see what that does. Because we're still constraining on a container. Should probably change the name of that to set constrain container, because that's essentially what it is. We're constraining to that container. Oh, that's interesting. I don't know what's going on. I tried to update some of the configurations on OBS because it's taken a lot of CPU recently for some reason. I think one of the recent updates did something, I don't know. So I started removing some of these extra scenes and stuff that I had. It's still causing a little bit of lag, and that's because of OBS. It's not because of this JavaScript. I was able to confirm that by shutting OBS down, and all of this was very fluid. All right, so we do need to constrain. I guess that was just a little hiccup. I'm not sure what happened there. We do need to constrain the top and the bottom. So we basically need to do the exact same thing. So the top is going to be the max of the top and the container racked top. So the max, this is constraining to the left side, and this should be constraining to the top. So let's just check that out. Let's see if we can drag it and snap it to the top of the container. Yeah, there we go. So it is able to snap to the top. We can snap to the left. We can snap to the right. I mean, it's not snapping, but it's not allowed to go past it, which is nice. So we need to do the same thing with the other bottom. And the starting. I mean, this would cause problems if the thumb were to change size while we're dragging. So let's hope that doesn't ever happen, because we are just grabbing the starting rectangle size, the starting client bounding rectangle. All right. Now let's get past that lag though. Come on, OBS. I might need to update my laptop at some point. I'm still using a 2018. All right, well, that is able to stay within the container on all four sides. So that's nice. Let's go ahead and put our constraint box back. There we go. Constraint vertical, I mean. because we do want to constrain vertical. We don't want it to go up and down like this. So let's go ahead and constrain that vertical. So we are constrained here. That works. Nice. So we can't drag up and down because of the fact that we are doing this little guy right here. So we're returning the exact same Y that we started with whenever we're constraining vertical. Obviously, this would cause problems if the container were somehow not actually containing this thumb item. I don't know what would happen because it's still doing this math. I guess technically we don't have to do that math. Yeah, because it's unnecessary to do this math if we're constraining. Eventually we're going to have a constrain horizontal as well. I might as well just add that. There we go. So if we're not constraining vertical or we're not constraining horizontal, that is only because this is expensive. Grabbing the bounding client rect, it's expensive, and I don't really want to do this if we are if we're not constraining either, right? So if we're not constraining horizontal, yeah, it's going to be null. Yeah, I basically only want to do this if we're not constraining one of them. So if constrain vertical, constrain horizontal, if one of them is false, then this is going to be true. Of course, I can just throw all of this stuff in here. See if that works. Just need to make sure that I didn't break anything. Yeah, it's still able to constrain it within that parent. All right, cool. All right. So that should all work. It's all fine and dandy. Now we just need to figure out how to get the value correct. So let's do that. Let's grab the other value. And that is going to be inside of the HUE picker. So let me swap the sides here. Oops. All right, just want to print out the other value. That way we can see from the math that it's doing what the actual number is without having to query the input element every single time. So it starts out, let me just double check this. What is the current value? 210. Does that look about right? I mean, this is probably 210 as well. We can probably use this little guy as a gauge. I would like to get the tooltip though. Let me get a tooltip on that. Yeah, let's look at the demo. Not entirely sure how to get the tooltip for that. Sliders. Yeah, because that one doesn't have it. Sliders with thumb. Yeah, that's what I want. Is there a thumb? True. All right, let's see if that worked. Because I just want to see a relative value based upon where I'm dragging that versus where I'm dragging our custom slider. All right, so this is 260 right there. So this should be not 418 because that is well past the other value. So we have some incorrect math here. All right, and that's probably because we are doing from the wrong math. So let's put a breakpoint in there. Okay. Yeah, I figured that because it's calling this on every single pixel that you move. All right, so we have a scale of 1.3. We have a width that 797. Is that the width of the container? No. Track width. You know, it's probably the width minus the size of the thumb. which is probably okay. Is that what I did? Track width? Yeah, I'm grabbing the thumb bounds minus the width. Okay, so that value is correct. The scale is basically the thumb bounds X. No, because I actually need to get the left based upon the computed. All right, so domino, dom, window, get computed style of the thumb element. Am I using this for anything else? No. Well, let's see. I mean, technically I can just grab the other left and here. Because that would always be correct, right? So what if I just did that? So thumb, not thumb bounds, but thumb, style left. How do you get left? All right, and we basically need to do the same thing that we did over here. There it is, unit px parse. So let's get rid of those. And this will be a little bit cheaper. All right, so let's remove that breakpoint and refresh. All right, so let's move this one first. There's 300. Let's see if it gets... So 300 is right about there. It looks like it's lining up with the other. The center of this is the left of that. Except for the fact that this one is going to go all the way over. So it's really difficult because the thumb size is so much different. But as long as this is 359, and this is 0, probably need to have that one as 0 on this side too. Like a less than or equal. That'll be fine. Because I am doing a scaled value though. That one's gonna be difficult. Don't know how easy it would be to get this to wrap back to 0. But that does work. So that's about 37 right there. Yeah, that's roughly what this is saying. It's hard to see because the Z index is crazy here. Probably need to change that Z index. I think I'm doing like a Z index of 3. So Yeah, I mean, this is going to work. So now we just need to be able to fire the value change event. And we already have change handler. So let's go back to our demo here. And let's go ahead and add a append child. And this is going to be some sort of text box. Read only. And text box TV. That's not going to work. I need to apply. Yeah, it's because this is inside of a, yeah, that can't work. Unless it's a field. Let's just do it the easier way. Let's just pull this one completely out. And then just add the TV here. And I'm doing this because whenever we have the add change handler, and we have the other value, we will want to have TB set value. And this is an integer, so let's concatenate it with a string. Probably integer value of. Can that be? I don't know if that can be null or not. I don't think I'm allowing it to be null. So this time, anytime it ever changes, it'll send out that event. Works for me. So now we can probably adjust some of the other styles. I did go with the circle for this. Not entirely a fan of that. Would be nice if we can get something a little bit more like what we saw yesterday. Not this one. I can't remember where I saw that, where it had more of a elongated. I mean, this one will definitely work for both vertical and horizontal, which might not be a bad idea. But cool, that works. I like it. So we should be able to reuse this. We will have to remove a lot of our console logs here. It's not there. Console. Don't need that variable anymore. All right, cool. Same with here. Console. Do we have any console logs? Yep. Oh yeah, we still need to figure out that cancel drag. I know. What we can do. Let me bring this back over here so we can see it better. We basically just need to reset the location because of the fact that we are doing this. We need to reset it back to what it started as. And we are just going to translate the drag start X. No, because I think that is from the event. We don't want that. We want the start rect X, start rect Y, translate that. And then we can just grab the other new coordinates. I should have tested it before refreshing. But then hit escape. It's not updating the value though. Probably need to do that. So HUE picker. Are we not listening to? We are listening to cancel. Are we firing the cancel? Oh, we're firing the event before we reset the other location. So that's why it wasn't setting appropriately. Yeah, so whenever we drag it and hit escape, it resets to what it was before. And it does fire that final value change event, which is nice. So letting go of the mouse and then hitting escape resets it. All right, so that works out pretty well. I like it. All right, so I do need to take a quick break. Have to swap out the laundry and I'll be right back. All right, I am back. Sorry about that wait. All right, so that actually takes care of that. What I would like to do, just as I mentioned before, is probably change this, well, maybe not right now. Maybe we can start looking at the vertical one. That might be nice. So let's see if we can make this vertical orientation for the HUE picker. So how do we do that? Let's see. First thing that we need to do is in our demo. Probably don't need that anymore. I'm just going to create a new text box. Horizontal value equals text box create. Set that to read only. I'm going to rename this one to, wait, horizontal value. I meant vertical value. This one's going to be a horizontal value. Append child, HUE picker create. Value 50. Add change handler. There we go. And we need to do some sort of orientation on this. Set orientation. Orientation. Just seeing what we currently have. It doesn't look like we have anything. That's Java X print. I don't really want to use anything from the GWT package space. So I'll probably just create something within this, just an enum. So vertical. Let's go ahead and create a new enum called orientation. And vertical. Vertical. That's probably good enough. Now I can import that. And the HUE picker, we basically want a public HUE picker, set orientation. Return this. And can we create a field for this? And by default, it's probably going to be horizontal. What is going on? That was weird. Wasn't allowing me to content assist. Orientation. Why does that word look not correct? Orientation. Yeah. It's one of those words that if you look at it too long, it doesn't look like a word anymore. All right. So the set orientation, that is correct. So now we got to figure out how we're actually going to do this. Probably through CSS. Let's just double check that our demo over here is compiling. Let's go ahead and refresh. Right now it's going to be horizontal. We do want to change this to be vertical. And the way to do that, let's take a look at the CSS for this. HUE. Domino UI. Color picker. CSS. Is this the right one? Source main resources. Looks like it. All right. Just trying to think of how we can actually do this. So we can't really do like if statements in here. Probably have to do it through attributes. I mean, one option would be to use data attributes, data-orientation. Yeah, let's do that. We can change it later. Let's just get something to work. So if we set the orientation, we basically need the root element attribute, data orientation dot name. Yeah, and let's just see what that looks like first. So let's inspect this, and we have this. So we just need to pay attention to this one, because there's two of them. This one is not going to have that data attribute, and this one will once we refresh. And there we go, data orientation, and this one does not have it. So this one we will be able to do CSS based upon this data attribute. let's figure out what that CSS is going to look like. This is going to be fun. I mean, I guess first thing that I need to do is figure out how to deal with the parent. Because let's take this demo. Instead of appending it this way, what we probably want to do is append new flex layout create orientation of this. Well, we have the flex orientation, or no, set direction, sorry. And this is going to be left to right. And here we are going to append this child. Might set a border on this. 1 pixel solid. Oops. There we go. And then I'm going to throw this vertical, which it'll eventually be vertical, on the right side of that. And let's make this one like 400 pixels. I just want to see what this looks like. Well, it did set the vertical height. So if I were to inspect this, we should be able to see that flex item with the vertical height. Sorry about that. Got a funny text. So then we got to figure out how this is going to work. Right now, position relative with the 100%. So what if we didn't have that and we had height 100%? Oh, see, I'm changing the global, so it's going to impact the horizontal one too. So let's figure out how this is going to work. How are we going to do this? Well, what we can do is component width 100%. We don't have to change anything with that. The slider background, though, we do need this to change. So, is this in the container? Yes, it is the HUE container. So if I were to do HUE container with data orientation equals vertical. And then do 1. We want to change this to which direction? Bottom or to top? I don't know which direction to do that. What are we familiar with? So the yellow towards the bottom. I mean, this is just one example. Just trying to find one that's vertical. Yeah, here's another one where the yellow is towards the bottom. So this is to the left, to the right. So I want to do from to the top, I guess. Or I would need to switch out those percentages or the positions. But this one might be fine. All right, so let's generate those resources, because we did modify the palm previously just to change it. I'm trying to figure out a better way to do that, but this will be rather quick. Just want to make sure that this will actually work. I know that it's not going to actually change the size or anything. I just want to make sure that the extra CSS is in there. So now that it's compiled, I need to empty the cache and reload, and that will grab the newer version of this. Let's see, does it have, yep, it has that. Oh, look, ha! Nice. It actually is doing the colors from bottom to top, which is perfect. So that one did work. So now we just need to swap things around a little bit. So I guess here, man, my lag because of OBS, it's just crazy. It's just getting worse for some reason. And I need to do this. A lot easier if we had SAS. I wouldn't have to do this all over the place. So let's swap these. And it's not track height anymore. Probably need to change track height to like a track size, because I want to just reuse that same value. So let's swap these around. Instead of height, yeah, let's change that. Can I use the refactor? I didn't change other CSS, did it? It don't look like it. Okay. That's what I fear about changing, like doing refactor in some of these files, because it's like, hey, I'm going to do a text search across your entire code base and change the word size into width or width into size, and then you've changed like 2,000 files. All right. I might want to split this screen so that I can keep track of some of this stuff. Let's just throw all of the, I guess I don't really need the draggable anymore. Is there any editors that I need open here? Doesn't look like it. Let's just throw those away. Let's keep the rest. Okay. Track size. So what things will need to be modified? Constraint looks good. Doesn't look like we need to change anything with that. The dragger should be fine. However, straight offset. Do I have a top anywhere on this? I'm not entirely sure where I'm placing this. Oh, there it is. So the top is the gutter size, so I do need to change this. You just have this available. I could probably switch those out to variables, but it'd be nice to not modify a bunch of stuff right now, and then we can just change it out to different variables, and then not have to do these individual selectors. I just want to see without modifying the existing. So the background. So that's what this is over here. Does this one have a height? It does have a height. So I need to swap those. And then the top, we will need to do this one. I guess this would be left instead of top. Okay. Maybe that's good enough. So let's go ahead and run that Maven again to concatenate the CSS, and let's see what we got. Hey, how's it going? Code Modian. How's it going? Well, that didn't work. Something's broken. I thought I had a flex in here. I want to create a new web page or a new web app in React. Which CSS library should I use for responsive CSS? I'm not completely familiar with React libraries, to be honest. I am not sure. I tend to write a lot of my stuff by hand, but I know that a lot of people still use Bootstrap, I think. Because it has some CSS on there, but I am not entirely sure. I do like Sass. Really like Sass. if you're doing any kind of node stuff, I would recommend it highly. I really enjoy being able to create a bunch of different fragments, being able to do the nested CSS. For the most part, I mean, even with the Domino UI stuff, most of this CSS is just homegrown, like within the library itself. I mean, if you use some sort of widget library, most likely it would come with some CSS associated with it. So it really depends on which component library are you planning on bringing into your React application. Yeah, the component height doesn't seem to be working here. I wonder if I need to change the let me wrap that inside of a flex item too. Yeah, sorry it wasn't more helpful. I haven't really done a lot of React development, and anytime that I ever have, it was usually on an existing project that they already had a widget or a component library that they used for the other standard stuff. So it's really hard to say. And even that library that I was using in a previous project, it was internal components and CSS. All right, so this one I would need to constrain horizontal, or vertical, I mean, or horizontal, yeah. Which probably means that in the HUE picker, I need to hold on to the draggable, which I do right here. Man, this... Am I dropping frames or anything? Doesn't look like it. Alright, so I do hold on to the draggable, which is good. So set orientation. Draggable. Set constrain. So for horizontal, we need to constrain vertical. And basically the opposite for this. Draggable, set, constrain, vertical, or horizontal. Not that. Or I can just do vertical. Let's just make sure that that works. Okay, so that did work. My dragging is really slow for some reason. I will have to close OBS later just to just to validate that this is caused by OBS, causing my machine to lag. And make sure that this one still works. Probably also wanted to support clicking somewhere along this track and it automatically setting the other value. Might be nice. All right, so that seems to have worked. So now we just need to get these values correct in that. Is only giving me the X value. And that is because of the thumb. Get value from thumb. So this will be dependent on orientation. So what I can do I can just do this in line, that's fine. So for the vertical, double top equals unit px parse thumb element style top double value. And then we will need a track height. Size. I'm going to change that to size. I know I can, there's a lot of places in here that I can do code reuse, but I'm just trying to get everything to work first. All right, so for the size, we will need to do a see, that doesn't seem right. I should be doing this on the container. Constraint box. Now, let's just do it on the root. That's fine. So both of these, I'm going to have to grab this. All right, so that should work. Theoretically. Well, I don't know where my thumb is. Because I'm probably still setting a left in here somewhere instead of looking at the orientation. Update view, here it is. And let's make sure that that's correct. Getting the value, yeah. Hopefully that's right. That looks correct to me. Although I think the values need to be in the opposite direction, right? Just making sure that the escape continues to work. It does. All right. Obviously, we have some CSS that we need to deal with, but this is really not too bad. We need to invert that value because the top would need to be the top of the value, right? And the bottom would be 0, so it's 0 to the top. So this one needs to be inversed. Can I set the bottom? That's expensive though. I don't know if set bottom will work, especially if it has a top set. Oh, we can't do that. I need to be able to set the bottom or the top. Yeah, it's gonna be frozen, so that's not gonna work. So this is going to be the offset, but I need to take the opposite of this. So if it's 0, it needs to be down here. Yeah, so if we grab the bottom See, and this is going to be the actual X location. This isn't the offset. And is this the width or the height? Yeah, it is. Yeah, that's going to cause problems because of the fact that we're also trying to grab the value from the top value and not the bottom. So we're going to have a couple of places that are going to have issues. Well, I'm going to keep that for now. We just have to realize this is opposite direction. I guess that's one reason why we don't see too many of those HUE pickers vertical, because of the fact that it has to be in 0 down here, 360 up at the top. Yeah, I'll think about that later. Let's go ahead and fix the CSS on this. So here's the dragger. See, the left should be the gutter, right? I guess I didn't do that. That's weird. I did do that. Oh, it's because we're setting the left directly. That's not good. And that is because of the drag. Let me just open that back up. Something is setting. No? Left. Oh. Apparently that's... Oh, duh. I had that completely wrong. I need this to go in front. Because that is the thing that actually has the data orientation. Orientation. So that's on the container, on the container, on the container. Okay, so that's correct. It's like, why isn't the left working? But something was still setting left to 0, and I need to figure out where that's at. Because we shouldn't be touching the left style whenever it's vertical. I guess it doesn't really matter if it's setting it to the correct value. All right, so that one compiled the CSS and made it available. So now we have to refresh to actually get the updated CSS. There we go. So now it's in the other center. Okay, so that's a lot better. That works out pretty well. So then, gotta figure out why this track is 50% down. I think it's because I didn't set a top to 0. Yeah. So here, top 0. Simple. So really, the only thing that needs to be done, sure, I need to make this a little bit narrower. So let's see what that's going to look like. If I were to have margin top, I guess I should do it here. Margin top, gutter. Margin bottom, gutter size. Maybe it's not margin. Padding top. No, that didn't work. What is the value of gutter size? Eight. Yeah, I'm kind of wanting. Well, I think I was doing something earlier where I was doing a margin top here. Right? No. Basically, what I'm trying to do is get this this bar inside of here a little bit smaller. That's where I was wondering if I should just put this inside of the constraint. Because this already has the padding, so if I were to throw this inside of the constraint, come on, drag with me here. Get rid of that, get rid of that. Now it's because it's absolute position. Isn't that right? Yeah. Okay, so that was my bad. Did it need to be absolute position? I don't think so. So now that it's relative position, now this is going to basically be the last value. So it's going to show within, basically this will look like it's the center is going to each of the ends, and that's kind of what I was wanting. So let's change the slider background to position relative. And we also put the background inside of the constraint box. And let's see what that looks like. Hopefully I didn't mess it up too bad. Oh yeah, forgot to change that CSS. Oh, that's right. I didn't regenerate. All right, so that's relative, which I did change. And what did I change to get this one to work? I needed to change the top. Top 0. Oh wait, I need to regenerate it again. I need to remember to do that. I mean, what I could do is change this one to bottom. And that'll just change the value order. So this might be acceptable. Might confuse people for the fact that 0 is going to be at the top and 360 is going to be at the bottom. Because it's going to be a little different than any other HUE picker, but it'll at least be accurate. I'll need to figure out how to inverse the values. All right, now that it's recompiled, let's empty cache and hard reload. Yeah, it seems to be getting worse the longer the stream's going with the OBS lag. So that's 0, and yeah, it's not getting exactly 360, and that's because of the scale. That might be problematic. People might not like that. What I could do is just check that location, and if it's hitting the if it's touching the ends, I can just grab the max value between them. Yeah, let's do that. Let's do that. So get value from thumb. Might be silly. But if they're touching, might as well just return the highest value, because there's going to be, because we're doing this based on a percentage scale and math, there, because of how the sub-pixel calculations work, we might not actually get the far value, and that is not returning. Well, let's see. Ow. Yeah, because of it being a double, we probably had to round. Yeah, we're gonna have to round. Even then, that's not gonna round to the same integer. I wonder if that's because of the other border. What if I didn't have that border? Because that border was only there for... Yeah, I'm not doing a border box. It's right there, box sizing, border box. See, now it's off because of that border. All right, so then that is $4.99, and the other dragger is also $4.99. So now it's equal. Oh, yeah, and now it's got the other 360. Let's remove that border. Again, that was just a temporary so that we can actually see it. There we go. Refresh, and that will kick off the compile. I just want to make sure that the positioning of these elements are correct, even removing the border. Looks off. Does look off. But that does return the right value. I wonder if it's because... Yeah, that is off. It's probably because of the border width or something. Or it could be because of this. This one does have a border. It does have box sizing. Border box. That's 12 pixels. All right, let's try that again. Just want to see what this looks like. See, that does look like it's centered. So that's about 25 or 11 pixels on that side. Oops. Let's highlight that again. Oops. Highlight that again. Do screenshot. Zoom in. Yeah, it's kind of complicated. Yeah, it's about 11 pixels too. So that track looks centered, so this one must not be centered. Yeah, why did it do that? Freeze. There we go. Yeah, that is definitely not centered. So what do I do with that? My dragger left 8, and that's the gutter size. Let me remove that for now, because the original left is this. So I should probably do like oh, good. It stayed in there. Divided by 2. Is that not right? What is the variable for that? Oh, I called it a dragger in here. I do need to change that to be consistent. Yeah, that's what I need to do. I need to swap that out with a calc. All right. This one right here. What? Copy value. Paste. There we go. Is that right? No. Yeah, dragger. This one will need to be changed. Hold on one moment. All right, one moment. I'll be right back. All right, sorry about that. Had a deal with a phone call. All right, so that one we changed the left, and this one we changed the top to be 50% minus half of the dragger size. And again, we probably need to change that to thumb size. I guess I don't mind the round thumb. That way it reduces the number of places that I need to modify. Because if we were to change that to more of an oblong, rectangular shape, we would end up having to deal with the orientation. Oh yeah, that's right. I need to clear out the CSS and grab that again. And that should center the thumb. Nice. All right, that works for me. Not a big fan of the reverse direction here, but like I said, I can probably do this at a different date. Just get something working now because, I don't know, people may not even notice, right? Because people are just looking at the other colors. So one thing that I would like to do is be able to click on this track and set the thumb to that position. So let's do that. All right. So I can close the CSS because I think we might be done with that for now. Again, we could probably change the color of this thumb based upon the value that we're currently on, which might be nice. I don't know. We'll see. All right, so now what we want to do in here on the other root, we want to add, maybe it needs to be on the other slider background, to be honest. No, let's put it on the other root. It is really hot today. I've been trying to avoid having to turn on the air conditioner, but man, I know it's July 7th right now, and we haven't really turned on the air conditioner much up here in the Northeast, but it's really humid. All right, so whenever we click on the track, here, we're probably wanting to get some sort of location within. So let's take a look at the event. Yeah, this needs to be a mouse event. So this will be obviously orientation specific. So let's do that too. So if orientation dot horizontal equals orientation, otherwise this is vertical orientation. We'll deal with that here in a little bit. So we want the client. So if it's horizontal, we want the client X of the event. So either way, we're going to have to get this bounding rect. So if we grab the client X, let's just take a look at this. So if we have a client X over here, which is going to be like 455 if we click here, we want to take this number minus the X of this number. And that'll give us the relative X. So double relative X equals the event minus root bounds X. Right? And we kind of need to just set the other value to that, right? doing that? Set value. On drag. Get value from thumb. I mean, I could do the same sort of thing. That way we can make do with relative use. So I'm wondering if we could just, let's console that out. Otherwise, we have our relative y equals event client y minus root bounds of y. And we can console that out. Console relative y, relative y. Let's just see what that number gives us. And it should be a decent number inside that's relative. Saying, yeah, we probably need to do this on the track itself. We might be able to ignore that. So what if we were to, let's only focus on the X for now. What if we did like relative X minus the thumb? Probably need to hold on to this value because we're calling this a lot. So half the width. And let's go ahead and grab that. So client or relative X minus half the width. Let's grab that. Let's go ahead and hold that onto a variable, both occurrences, thumb bounds. So we're going to be using that for the vertical as well. So here, we need to make sure that we don't float outside the track. So we have to do a math min left. Let's just see what this does. Whenever we set the left. Yeah, I'm not sure what that number would be. Let's just see what this looks like first. A lot of widget design and widget development is just a lot of trial and error. Oh wait, that's not what we're doing. We're just wanting to click on the track. No, that is not what we want. So if we come over here, let's skip that for now. I need to figure out what we're doing on this. So let's just grab that thumb, set left, and let's just do relative X plus PX. I think this has negative numbers, so that's probably going to cause problems. But I just want to see what this does. And of course we need to update the value based upon that. Yeah, so this is setting it basically to where the where I'm clicking, and obviously we need to throw it within the bounds. So I want the center to be there, so I guess that's yeah, that's a good reason to use that relative. Yeah, because that makes it where it's the center of the thumb. All right, so now we need to restrain it. How do I do the restraints? Constrain? Was I doing that in here? No. I guess I was doing that in the other draggable. All right, so then the constraint is going to be left equals math max left root bounds left. Oh wait, this is not translating. I don't want to do that here. Zero left. And then math.min root bounds width minus thumb bounds width. And left. Is that right? Let's see. I could have split those up into two different calls. So if I click over here, it doesn't seem to go past that. If I click over here, it doesn't go past that. So that looks correct. All right. So set that. So let's do the same thing so that we can get the vertical orientation. So this is going to be top. This is going to be relative y minus the height divided by 2. Top is going to be height and height. And set top is going to be top. And then update, not update view, but let's do a non-drag. Just throw in this event, because this will go through the same routine of setting the value from the other thumb. Set value. Let's just do that. Hopefully this will work. And then whenever we do that, looks correct. 360, 0, 0, 360, and I can't drag it outside of this, and I can't click outside of that. Nice. All right, so the other thing that we need to do is making sure that the value all right, so we're grabbing the old value. If the objects equal value and old value, let's just return this, right? Maybe not, because we may have to do the initial setting of it, but we basically just don't want to fire the event handlers if it's not silent. Oh. And objects are not equal. Make that a little bit simpler. So if it's silent, not silent, and not equal, then we can call the change handlers, because it's pointless to fire events if we're just setting the value to the same value. That looks good to me. I don't know. What are your thoughts? I mean, what would it look like if I were to change the color of the handle or the thumb? Yeah, let's try that. So in the update view, let's try that. So let's grab a new HSV. We're going to pass in the value. And 100, 100. Probably we'll need to create some math here. Oops. Because of this as a HUE picker, the value here is actually the HUE, and we're passing in saturation. And here, I'm not sure if I should pass in as like 100%, or should it just be some percentage, like 1. So anything between 0 and 1, because it's a percentage. Might do it this way. But yeah, then we're gonna have to figure out how to get like a hex value. Yeah, that might be for a different time. It is almost noon here. So the general idea, well, technically, doesn't CSS support HSV? Yeah, I hate W3 schools. Let me look at RGBA, because there is an RGBA function, so I'm curious. This is W3 schools again. Need to block that site. A lot of times they have bad information. So they have HSL, which is hue, saturation, and lightness. That should be fine. So let's just do an HSL. Then we don't have to do any color changing. So let's ignore that for now, and let's just do thumb. Background color, and let's do HSL. Got value. And I guess 100% on both of those. I'm just curious if what this will look like. That is not what I was wanting. Why is it doing that? I mean, is this doing something special? Style, set background color, so it should be going directly to the CSS property, yeah. HSL. Is that not supported? Can I use HSL? Yeah, it's been supported forever. Well, let's try this manually. HSL 288, 100%, 100%. Am I just not doing that right? Oh, there's no commas. I saw the commas here. It's like, oh, commas. Apparently there's no commas. Still doesn't work. Okay, so it's the lightness. I'm gonna have to do like 50%. Let me try 50%. Because if this were HSV, I would have done 100%. Yeah, there we go. That looks pretty good. I mean, sure, I could have had it just show the other color behind it, um, but it kind of makes it a zoomed in color. I don't like the thumb color, but that can easily be changed. Okay, I can dig this. I don't know, what are your thoughts? That's just basically it. We have this entire HUE picker working, and it looks like my browser is actually catching up now. I'm not entirely sure why OBS isn't killing me anymore. No drop frame, so I'm still streaming. Kind of weird. But yeah, that is pretty slick. I wonder if it was because of the console logging I was doing, and it was doing so many logs. That's possible. So it could have just been me logging so much on the other console, but now it seems to be working fairly well. I'm not a big fan of how the other vertical works. Maybe we should look at that a little bit more in depth, because right now we're having to... How are we doing that? I mean, we could probably set the size manually. What would happen if we were to set the width to 200 pixels? Yeah, see, that messes everything up. See, that might actually be nice. Where you can size the outside, and then the inside content just sizes appropriately. So what if I were to do that? So here's the... So why can't I see this? Why isn't that visible? Oh wait, I put the width on the wrong thing. Sorry about that. Let me revert that. So this is the element that people would be modifying. So width 200%. Yeah. Oh, not 200%. 200 pixels. Okay. Yeah, that's much better. Obviously, we're gonna have to change this, but that's not a bad idea. So what if I were to not do that and I did flex 1? Oh yeah, that's because this is wrapped inside of a flex item now. Let's just ignore that. Let me add that 200, and let's see if we can fix the CSS before the end of the day. So the constraint here probably needs to not be 100% anymore. Because the gutter, or the thumb, is actually using the constraint, and if that's 100%, if it's filling up the parent, then it's not going to do the other calculations appropriately, right? No, it should. So why isn't the dragger? Oh, that's interesting. Who is setting the left? Okay, let's fix this. So that works. So let me go ahead and get rid of that. I like it. I like that HSL. Instead of having to go through the data type here, don't know if we're going to use that or not. We'll see. So something is setting the left to 0. I need to figure out what. Set left. Oh, and you know what? It's probably because it's getting called, not here, but update view. Whatever, we're not even attached yet. I think that's causing some issue. Let's see what that does. I think it's, oh wait, we need to change the parent. Not that one. Was it this one, or were we changing this? Okay, yeah, that works. I just want to see what that looks like. Alright, so that does work. Of course, it's getting clipped because we explicitly set 400 height here. Let's just change it to really small. Uh-oh. Yeah. I changed the height and it didn't update the location. I don't think I need to. I might end up having to do that. Update the view upon resize, but that could be a later thing. Because if this were inside like a window or something, or a like a sliding panel, like one of these split panes. This would be in layout, split panel. So if it were inside of one of these and it was getting sized proportionally to the panel size, we would probably need to monitor resizes of the component itself and reset the thumb based upon its new size. I like that a lot. I don't know. Like I said before, let me know what you think in the comments. So how was I gonna do that? Register a callback to listen to element size changes. The observation will only start after the element is attached and will be stopped when it's detached. Resize observer. Wonder if I should just override this method. Size handler. How does that work? Okay, so on resize, I'm gonna call something, and it looks like a callable. Nope. So there's 3 arguments to this. I wish IntelliJ did better with that. It's like you have to have one of the letters correct in the arguments. There we go. See, right there. Element observer entries. Yeah, I wish I were a little bit smarter. All right, so what I could do, so in the demo, well, let's just do it like this first. Let me change the height and width manually and see what happens. Actually, I'm going to change this to no longer require this flex item. So we are adding the hue picker directly. Of course, that is not visible. Flex grow 1? No. Flex height 400% or pixels. Yeah, not a big fan of having to do that, but that's fine. Can I do 100%? No. All right, so if I were to move down here now, if I were to resize this, notice that it's updating the thumb location. Let's change it to here. And now it's going to be the same value, but it's going to be proportional to the size of the track itself. Okay, that works. All right, so let's take a look at our change set here and see what we need to update. So we have the color util. That's not needed right now. It will be eventually. That works. That works. I'll probably refactor all of this stuff later, because everything that we're swapping out, I can probably do with, I can't, because some of these I'm setting the left and the top. So that one might be a little bit more difficult. So I might do the other refactoring later. We'll just see. Draggable, that is the full implementation of draggable. I mean, not full. We probably still have some improvements that we can do. Because right now I was planning on being able to cancel. So whenever you're dragging, you might want to be able to cancel it for any of the other listeners that are watching it. Don't have that yet. Not entirely sure how I want to do that. Obviously, we can do that with the older GWT events and how all of that works with the events and the handlers, but I don't think I like that too much anymore. Could use native events because we can create custom native events and fire it directly on the element. Not sure how I feel about that either, so we'll just have to play around with the events and being able to cancel and do all of that stuff. That looks all correct. Orientation and RGB. All right, so let's go ahead and commit this. I do want to make sure, however, I am on the correct branch. Because I'm using Git submodules, if I go up a directory, we can see that this stuff is separate from the submodule. So right now we're on branch color picker, and I think we're on the same branch of my Domino UI checkout, so it should be fine. Obviously, I should probably use a ticket number for this. Handling. I'm just going to do that. I'm not entirely sure how that works with the submodules. I haven't really played around too much with Git submodules, and I didn't want to commit that, which is correct. Can I commit this Domino UI? Like, how do I do that? I'm not entirely sure why it shows this as a new file. I guess I can add this to the git ignore. But I don't think I can do that because it's a submodule. I don't know. I don't know what that all means. I'll have to play around with Git and submodules a little bit later, but that did allow me to commit that in 2 different repositories simultaneously. So I think that's going to do it for this particular stream. Long am I in? I am 2 hours and 45 minutes, so not too bad. This does conclude the HUE picker. So if you recall, that's not the end of it. What we are going to do moving forward, let's find a place with a background color. Here we go. And it's not clickable for some reason. Go back up here, click on that. There we go. That way we can see the other color picker. And let me go ahead and zoom in a little bit. Probably swap my camera to the other side so that we can see it a little bit better. So that is just this guy. So we only have the HUE picker. We could probably reuse it for the alpha picker. We can just generate the transparent background, but I don't know if I want to worry about that too much. I think the next beast to tackle would be this guy right here. Notice that the center of it is going to be that top value. Let's look at a different HSL, 50% lightness. So what is this? This is the alpha. So the lightness going down. Yeah, let me turn off my zoom so that we can see this a little bit better. So the lightness, so 50% was probably good whenever I was using HSL over there, because 0 lightness over here, 100% lightness over here. So HSV is basically the opposite, where we will have the saturation 0 to 100%. Yeah, still doing it the same way. So 0 to 100% going bottom up, and then from left to right, it would be 0 to 100% on the value. But it looks like the lightness is impacted by the saturation. It's not a big fan of that. It makes a lot more sense with HSV, so that's what we're gonna do. We could probably easily create an HSL and an RGB selector, because they're basically all the same. It's just a matter of this selector here itself is really an HSL. Nope, correction, HSV, because this is a saturation and value. But then the base color of it is going to be driven from the HUE selector. But the rest of it, to generate these other numbers, that's going to be a piece of cake. We can easily swap between any of these because of the, I don't even know what that is, because of the fact that it's all using the same component here. So that's what we're going to do next time. I'm going to call it for the day. That way I can have a little bit more demarcation in between topics, so that we're not confusing matters any. So that will do it. I hope that you enjoyed it. Rate the video, do any kind of comments, questions, concerns, and we'll get back to you as soon as we can. So have a good one. Bye.